Hey, Gecko and Invertebrate fans, YouTube creators, thank you for joining tonight. We're still waiting for some people to join into the live chat. If you want to, I just posted the link to join backstage so that I can bring you on so that you can be a part of the actual chat. Please, everyone, please put your information down in the chat if you'd like to make any suggestions, any comments. If you have a YouTube channel and you'd like us to go to your YouTube channel and subscribe and like your videos, go ahead and put your channel right in the chat. I see A1 Genetics just joined. Intrepid is here. Frank the Tank. J-Bug. Let me just go down the list. Laura, thank you for joining. I know Laura doesn't create, but she wants to participate. Cassandra, how are you doing? Thank you, everyone, for joining. I'm probably missing some people here. Moon, I think that you're in the house. Doolittle, JP's Lizard World. Kate, thank you for joining. So this is number 2. This is number 2 from the collab YouTube creators project. I had just a little bit of a background here. Hi, Phoenix. Thanks for joining us. Angie, thanks for joining us. This was back almost a year ago. I started thinking about how can we work as a community, those people that are creating videos. How can we help each other? How can I go to somebody and say, yeah, I love your videos, but you know, you're doing this differently, or hey, listen to Wally and tell me what you think about my videos or my channel. And just a really good way to just kind of share information between YouTube creators, whether you're into reptiles or invertebrates or anything. You know, a channel is a channel. YouTube videos are YouTube videos. And I think that we can really start helping each other along the way. I'm going to post a link. If you would like to join into the chat, not just the chat, but the actual video, the live stream, go ahead and jump onto that link and I'll bring you on. I wanted to talk. So let me, again, talk about why we're doing this. It's to help each other, but why? Why? I have seen so many times from creators, I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I'm trying to get 4,000 view hours. I'm trying to get monetized. So there's a lot of reasons why people are doing YouTube videos, YouTube channels. We see other social media platforms like, TikTok. TikTok has just exploded. Instagram has fallen by the wayside. It's still very, very popular, but you know, TikTok just took over the world. But who knows about tomorrow? One thing that we absolutely positively know is that YouTube has taken off. I think I hear Nanette coming in. And again, this is super, super informal. So leave your comments, and we're just going to kind of take it by as much as we can here. I wanted to mention real quick, there's a lot of good reasons to get subscribers, to get views on our videos. It's obviously, you know, to share the information, to educate, to hopefully make ourselves I guess subject matter experts, to promote our brand, and obviously to make money if we can. You know, it would be nice to make a little money. And I'm going to scoot over here. Nanette, read off the comments. I'm busy yapping and I haven't done anything too much about that. I'm going to jump over to Angie's. Angie,
you are not shy.
You are not shy. It doesn't take anything to stare at a camera and just talk. And I'm going to talk, right? And I'm going to talk a little bit about JP's Lizard World in just a minute, because we're going to review his channel, his videos. It's not going to be all night. We're going to talk about our main subject here, and that's content is king. So again, the purpose of this is to help each other, and we're going to break it down into different parts. That's okay. That's all right. It's very informal. different parts, like talking about thumbnails, talking about long form versus short form, talking about descriptions, talking about how to do better intros, just anything under the sun. We're going to get to it. I have some specific topics that we wanted to cover in the first few episodes here. But again, this is me going off and rambling, but this isn't going to be me. This is going to be us, the community. If somebody else wants to host these live streams, that's super cool. It's not just all about Supreme Gecko. I think we have a lot of informed people here and a lot of great comments. We had our first session 2 weeks ago, and we'll have these every 2 weeks if we can. And we brought up a lot of really good points. Points like just hit enter, just press record, start talking. And once you get 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 different videos out there, you can start looking at them and just kind of see where you can make some changes. Angie, I'm not a talker. How am I normally? I don't really have super long conversations.
No, you don't. No. Driving in a car with you is not really a lot of fun because you just don't talk a whole lot.
I don't. I'm not playing on my phone. I'm just that's my off time, and I'm thinking. And I think that, let me do this here real quick. It's really, the important thing is, and we're going to talk about. Go ahead, Nanette.
No, what is this?
What is what?
Backstage. Moon over Miami on the bottom. Do you see me in the backstage? What
I do not. I'm going to do this real quick again. Let me do this and just make sure I've got the right link. If you go to this link that I'm posting right now, you should be able to get into the backstage, into the green room.
You just gave everybody that link to go into the green room?
Well, we're going to take probably 2-3 people here. We're not going to fill up with 28 people. I think we have 25 watching right now. Hopefully IsoBuddies
He's just telling them they need a link. They got it.
Okay.
Need a link. You gave it.
So I think it is, I'm going to add Nick here, the Tread. Hey, Nick, how are you doing?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
No volume.
Can't hear you.
Can.
I'm going to add Tim as well. Tim, are you there? Did you say hi, Tim?
Yes. How you guys doing?
I don't have volume for either one.
No. Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Link's not working.
Can Tim hear? Can Tim hear me?
And the Treadnick in the back, in the green room here. So I'm going to do something. Oh, I can hear him.
Okay.
So you guys can hear Tim and the Tread, but I can't. That's really odd.
It was really confusing there for a second.
I'm going to add Moon.
Say hi, Moon. There we go. The other link wasn't working.
Yeah, I can't hear anybody at all. So bear with me for just a second, folks. I'm going to jump out and I'm going to jump back in. You shouldn't lose the stream. You're just going to lose me for just a second.
Yeah, you should be okay as long as we're here. Yeah, as long as we stay here, he won't disappear. Hi, welcome to Not Wally's.
Yeah, really.
Is that your truck?
No, it's a vacation. I saw there was a bunch of oldie cars parked at in Arizona.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So what do you guys do? I do large constrictors and monitors. Do like educational stuff.
I don't do any. The only thing I have is jumping spiders.
I do ball pythons and tarantula. My channel goes across kind of the whole community. I'm doing everything that's not just my stuff. Speaking of monitors, though, at some point, Tim, I know I've seen your stuff. I got to reach out
now.
I got to reach out.
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
We can always hear you, Wally. You're never silent.
Never stops talking.
Ever. Except when I'm in the car with Nanette.
Well, you don't talk a whole lot. I'm not being mean.
I wanted to say hi, Nick. Hi, Tim. Moon, thanks for joining us again.
Thank you.
Who's down there?
Again, this is going to be so informal. This is just sharing ideas. I have a script here that go ahead, Nanette. You want to add them?
No, I just want.
That is Aaron from Doolittle.
Okay, and then you've got over here.
And Josh. We're going to see if we can bring in Aaron.
Oh, hi, everybody.
Hey,
Aaron.
Hey, heck yeah.
Don't let him in.
Nanette just said don't let Josh in.
And the evil ring of death.
All right. Hopefully Josh comes on in a
Josh
second
isn't
here.
coming.
Yeah, he'll be here before the end.
Yes. Yeah, 5 minutes before the end. So again, I mentioned before the purpose of all this. We're going to have some question and answer time during these sessions. We're going to have a review of somebody or maybe a couple of people's channels. Hopefully, we can get something out of this whole process that helps everybody. We talked the last time. I'm going to remove Josh again, and hopefully he comes back. I think he's just rebooting. I think Moon, last show, Aaron Doolittle, Exotics, I think you guys had some great ideas. We talked about, just basic, how can we improve our channels? How can we improve our videos?
There he is.
Yes. Hi, Josh.
Hey, there he is.
Josh had some great points, and we just want to keep building on this. And I don't want to lose all
Can
of
you hear us, Josh?
Josh, can you hear us?
I can.
Cool.
You can? You can.
Very cool.
I don't want to lose, and I'm not going to talk the whole time, but I just wanted to do this,
Right.
this basic introduction here.
Yeah.
I
you hear
don't
me?
want to lose. Yes.
Okay.
I don't want
Huh?
to lose some of the facts that we are bringing up here. So I'm going to have not a transcript, but some, I guess, high-level points. And I'll put that
Yeah,
if
good,
you
good.
guys have visited the collab group on Facebook. I'm going to try to keep everything over there so that we can all access from that point. I already started a list on there, and hopefully I can make it in the next couple of days more interactive so you guys can change your own information, and we could add more YouTube creators to that I don't want to call it a spreadsheet, but to that
That's
sheet,
what it is.
but it is. And we can build off of that.
Oh no, there goes
Awesome.
Josh is
That's
gone
awesome.
Firling.
He needs more of the tinfoil on his antenna.
again. I thought I saw him come back.
Not yet.
So, I think as we build and build and build, hopefully we can get more in depth. And tonight we're going to get a little bit more in depth than that first show. And tonight I want us to talk about content. Content is king. We've talked about how to build our channels. We've talked about a little bit, the high level, how to get people to come and watch our videos and how to hopefully get them to watch more of the videos. But ultimately, we could talk about thumbnails, we could talk about shorts versus long form, but ultimately it comes down to content. I think that if you have the right content, you're going to bring people to your channel, your videos over and over and over and over, and build your audience that way.
He's back.
What are your thoughts, guys?
Who we starting off with? You want to start at the top one?
Aaron, you're starting off.
All right, I'm starting it off. All right. All right. So I'm sorry. What was the question? I was looking at Josh's screen coming in. That's why.
I would say
memorizing. It was.
You guys agree that you can do a lot of things. You can spend hours looking at thumbnails or changing your description with keywords and SEO and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
Or
Yeah.
you can make your intros shorter. You can do a lot of editing, fancy editing. But ultimately, I think my feeling is that content is king. Content will bring people back.
Absolutely.
You think?
Absolutely. Content is king. And I've always thought as us as creators, we're always kind of thinking 1 week ahead, right? What's our next video? What's our next thing? Wally's really good about having constant flow with his shorts and his videos, which is really, really cool. I thought that I made the point of last time that our shorts kind of it's like a sales pitch. You know what I mean? If you make a really good short or take a good clip out of your actual video, I think that you can it's kind of like a sales pitch, and someone who watches your short will go watch your whole video right after that. So I think as long as we're as long as we're thinking forward and thinking like I was saying last time, I think eventually all these YouTube videos are going to become movies. It's like everyone's going to have a script. We're going to have lighting, and the lighting and the sound is already coming in. And Wally, you said you do script, right?
I do. I do a script
Yeah.
every single video. I'm kind
Yeah,
of
I believe in that. That's a really good tactic to get, because sometimes I know I catch myself just blabbering on about things,
Welcome
but
back, Josh.
I have to keep myself, like I said, to a script or my own, mindset of what a script is. But it's going to eventually evolve into like this own production, and everybody's going to have their own little studios. I think it's going to grow really, really nice.
completely agree. Hey, I'm going to go clockwise. Clockwise? Am I doing that right? Josh, we were talking before about content, and content brings people back. You and I talked about thumbnails for a while, and I think that helps, and descriptions. But what do you think about content?
Make it quick. You're gonna go out again.
He's frozen.
Are you frozen? Okay.
Oh man.
We're gonna jump over to Nick.
First, most important is to have a good internet connection.
He's
Content is important. I personally don't have like a set content. I try to hit some bullet points every episode, but I'm a place with content, so it's the same format every week.
Perfect. And
But,
you know, I'm not good.
every week is something new.
Yeah, I'm not good at coming up with, thinking through it, because I think I'm thinking of too many things. Is the camera working, lighting, and my mind is focused on too many other things than what I should be focused on. So that's why hi Josh. That's why I but it might not be something, even bullet points, Nick, what do you think about that comment about content? And what's your view about content?
Yeah, I mean, I think content obviously is always, like anyone else says. I mean, and this is me, my day job as a tech guy, information and data. I mean, that's the most valuable asset, especially when you look at something digitally. When you look at what YouTube from an algorithm, as far as what's going to be coming out, where it can actually start to break down every single conversation, it's getting to the point on the back end from an engineering perspective that I can actually map out and show every positive comment. So if we and you are having a conversation, I can show Wally's given 5 positive comments related to this species of geckos, and he's given 5 neutral comments related to this, species of animal, and he's given 8 negative comments as it relates to parrots or something. So it's getting all the way to that point where that's actually going to be available from an end user perspective when you're doing the searches and how you're doing the searches, so that people are getting exactly the content for what they care about.
Josh is going to just listen because he can't come up.
So I think content is key. The only thing obviously like that I do is that I wanted to take a different approach where everything, and it's definitely risky. I tell everyone, like, what I'm doing is risky. I do everything live. I do everything non-scripted, very much almost like how like Seinfeld is. Here's the general concept. Here's the person that's going on. But what happens and what goes on is completely up to whatever happens.
Just go with the flow.
But for me, my platform is really, I've been telling everyone, it's a marketing tool in a sense for all the other vendors and breeders and people who work across the different exotic pet industries, really to help them to be able to reach different people be able to have that personal connection. So that's why my content isn't scripted as much per se. But again, with this being a new channel, everything is still open to interpretation. I'm not going to say that those things won't change over time.
I completely agree. And everybody has to do what is comfortable for them. We all can't be, I'm going to throw the name out. We all can't be Brian and, have the fancy thumbnails. And I don't want to call it clickbait because he's providing the content in his videos, but we all can't be the, rah. I can't come on. I can't do a video and just be, this is the greatest video gecko in the whole world. And I just can't do that. I've tried it and it just doesn't work. I don't feel comfortable. And I look at the video afterwards. It's like, I stink. This is.
You got to be yourself.
I think you have to be yourself. Tim, thanks a lot for joining us. I really appreciate this. What do you think about content? Any thoughts?
Well, yeah, man, it was really cool to get invited. It's always good to meet new people, make new friends, man. But I mean, I started Intrepid Exotics maybe a year and a half ago or something like that. And it all came about because, with large constrictors, especially, man, it's really important that people get good, solid information about them. And the thing about it, and I know we all talk about, want to get more subscribers and views and want to grow channels. But something that I've kind of found is that, with a niche like this, that's purely educational content, you pretty much got to ignore the numbers. I mean, if you expect a channel like mine to grow quickly, and get big and tens and hundreds of thousands of, subscribers or anything, you're just going to get disheartened and you're going to quit.
Yes.
I hear everybody talking about, man, I want to get that 1,000 subscribers and I want to get monetized. And man, I made $50 in 6 months. So,
holy cow, what are you doing right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Must
think
be the super chats.
I know, right? But I really think, especially with stuff like this, you just, like you said, you got to be genuine. You can't try. Everybody can't be Brian Barczyk. If I went on like that, it'd be the same thing. Everybody would shut off and go, Tim has lost his damn mind. He must have started doing drugs or something, because this ain't him. And people just don't respect that.
Yeah.
So, it's, I want my channel to grow because I want to increase my reach, just because I want more people to be able to, benefit from it. But I'm not going to push it, and I'm not going to be disingenuous just for the sake of getting subscribers or views or anything like that. It's taken off on its own, and my reputation's pretty solid from the foundation.
There you go.
And that's the important part, because, I've got direct or indirect links to, people like Kevin McCurley. I've got friends that know him, that take animals up there to Nerd and stuff like that. Haven't been up there myself, but I'm on Garrett Hartle's Patreon and all this other stuff, and try and get involved and let these people get to know me, and just build that foundation from the ground up, and it'll grow on its own.
Yeah,
100% agree. And I want to throw in to there real quick. I think the more not yourself you are, the more your audience realizes that, especially if you have a bunch of videos already out there and you start changing dramatically. But also, I think that after a while, you're going to, and you see your numbers decrease or not grow like you think that they are, it's going to affect you as well. And you're just you just can't keep that pace up. You just can't do it.
Yeah, the thing that keeps me going, man, is legitimately the comments that I get from people.
Yeah.
Because it's just every now and then, I'll start getting drug out. I'll be like, damn, what do I need to talk about now and all this? And then all of a sudden somebody comes through and they're like, man, I just happened to get this new retic, and I've been, binge watching all your videos, and you're right, it worked, and I can handle it great now.
There you go.
And those thank yous every now and then through there, it's just like, okay, yeah, you're doing the right thing. Just chill out, keep putting content out, and
That's what gets me too. Is a good comment will keep me going for probably 3 or 4 videos.
I give you good ones all the time,
but not on YouTube. You don't type it on YouTube. Mahoney, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's content. I mean, you just got to think about it. What was the reason? What was the reason that you found Wally, and why did you keep going to Wally's channel? Was it his good looks? Or
absolutely,
or all the nice looking girls he has on there, or the animals? What was it? So that's the way it is. It's the videos. The videos keep you coming back. The videos are what got you there. That's what you need to do. You got to do content, because you can do a video like someone said that it went viral. Okay, you had one video that went viral. That if you're monetized, hey, that's great, because it's going to pay off. But what's going to happen after that? That's going to go down. You need to get have videos continuous. Do good. It's good for it to go viral. You'll get out to more people. But are you going to be able to maintain it? That's the thing. So
absolutely.
You have to have content on there. Keep making stuff. It doesn't matter if only one person watches it, 2 people. After a while, it'll get noticed more and more. And I keep telling people, even people that don't like shorts are going to get more people to your channel. Even if you don't like them, they're going to help your channel. It depends. You want your channel to grow faster and get more people to come to your channel, shorts is the way. It's like a short. I mean, what happens on the Super Bowl? They have this little commercial. How many seconds and how many millions of dollars? I don't know. It's probably billions now. I don't know. That they charge to have that little commercial on the Super Bowl. And why? Because people, oh wow, I'm gonna go over there and check that out. Same thing,
30 seconds. 30 seconds. Bing, bing, bing.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't take that long. It's 15 seconds to a minute, whatever you want to get out of that. And then the thing is, now that YouTube is promoting your channel with it, because before, if you would just watch it, it wouldn't even tell you, hey, go, like people show you your channel. Now it's even telling them, hey, go subscribe, kind of like subscribe. So, it's helping more and more. Now even you're getting paid. It's that big, 10 cents every 1,000, views that you get now.
I'm going to bring this up though, and we're talking about content, and I want to circle back to this. My skill set stops at TikTok. YouTube is too much work. It's a ton of work. When you start off, YouTube is a ton of work. I bet you for every video that I put out initially my first year, after the first few, and okay, I'm getting my feet wet, and now I want to get more views and more subscribers. I bet you for every video that I put out there, I watched a dozen, 20, 25 videos to try to understand. And then I'm not going to talk about money and cameras and lighting and stuff like that. We can talk about equipment later, but the techniques and things like that. So we made the comment about, just press record. You learn after a few videos. We also talked about, being yourself. But I think there's a lot of little things in there too that we can all do that really doesn't cost anything. It doesn't really cost a whole lot of time. You've got to be yourself. But when you come on talking about content, when you create I'm not going to go down the path of live streams right now, but when you're creating a long form video, there's a lot of things that you can just do, and I want to talk about that will help people stay interested, stay connected, watch to the end, stay after that first 10 seconds. One of the things I think that I'm going to start off the conversation here. One of the things that I think people can do is just smile. And I go back to my videos 3 years ago, and they were horrendous. They were terrible. The Periodora picto eats insects, and then it was just terrible. So I think that if you have a passion because you're keeping these animals, then you should show that passion on YouTube. And another little tip here, and then I'll let everybody else talk, is sit in front of the camera and record yourself. And if it works and that was a good video, or that was a good little piece of the video, use it. If it's not, just redo it. If you wouldn't watch what you're recording, if you're like, okay, it's been 2 minutes of trying to edit this and I can't take it anymore, then stop and redo it. Smile, show emotion, use your hands, things. And I know that this is hard for, Angie mentioned it before about being shy. Look at the camera and think that you're talking to your wife or your best friend. I don't talk to you, but think that envision that you're talking to somebody. For me, it shows. I can sit behind the table at a show and talk to one person for 6 hours about crested geckos. Envision that, pretend like you're doing that and have passion and smile once in a while and get a little bit of excitement. Don't overdo it, like we've said, but just show your passion. What do you guys think?
Dad humor works great. Throw a joke in there, man. The dumber, the better.
Yes.
That's something that I'm working on. I was the same way, man. When I first started, it was like I didn't know how to look at the camera. I'm looking over here, and everything's so serious.
Yeah.
It takes
keep a high energy.
Yeah.
Don't worry about
Yeah.
making mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing is, that's what happens to a lot of people. They try to be too perfect. Forget about being perfect. It just put them out there, the videos.
It's what Adobe Premiere is for,
Because
man.
you know, the thing is, unless you're making a lot of money, then is when you need to start, you know, getting that quality out there. When you're just barely starting and you're making pennies, if you're lucky, then you know it doesn't matter, because guess what? People are going to watch you because they like you, or they like what you make or what you have.
No.
You know, and people they keep, oh, you know what, this, I don't like the way. Don't worry about it, just do it. I mean, I've worked in sales all my life, you know, auto parts, selling, you know, parts to customers and talking to customers all the time, so I never had a problem talking to people, you know. But I was shy when I was in school. I mean, I was shy, you know, but you know, then I just started talking. Now I can't stop.
Did anybody else, Nick, have fears when you first started this whole thing? What am I going to say? Am I going to be nervous? Am I going to stutter? Am I going to say 463 times? And how did you get over something like that?
Yeah. So for me, I mean, so I will throw this out there. So I know it sounds bad, but so in my day job, I do a lot of, you know, from time to time conferences and stuff. I used to be a professional trainer in the cybersecurity space. So, you know, I just kind of took some of what I used to do in my day job, basically, and basically looked at it in the sense of, in a sense, it's easier because my audience isn't in the same room as me. When the audience is the same room, if you make a mistake, like sometimes, yeah, that pressure can get you a lot more and you start sweating bullets. When they're not in the same room, I mean, you don't have to imagine them in your underwear or any of that stuff. I mean, it's you and your computer screen, and you realize at the end of the day, I can always just hit exit and done. So for me, I kind of felt like it's easier for me to be myself and not be, you know, I guess my, whatever you want to call it, your fake work facade or whatever. So I just, like I said, just tried to have fun with it and just kind of roll with the punches, and whatever happens, happens. But that was a big reason I did the live. I said, I don't want to deal with the editing and stuff. I just want people to see the true authenticity, see the mistakes, and just see what comes of it.
Absolutely. Tim, what do you think?
Yeah, lives are certainly so much easier. There's times, excuse me, there's times it'll take me an entire day to get a 30-minute video from the time I get up in the morning, shoot it, sit in here, edit it, do the thumbnails and everything. By the time I get done, I'm like, damn, I wanted to publish by 6. It's 8. Oh, well, I'll wait till tomorrow now. Doing times and everything. But, you know, one thing that I didn't want to interrupt earlier, but you mentioned about going viral. And there's something we should keep in mind too. Going viral is not always a good thing. You can go viral and completely sink your reputation with one video.
Yes.
And so that's one thing we've got to keep in mind. And I know, you know, most of the other creators that I work with and stuff like that, you really ain't got to worry about it. But I mean, there was one reaction video that I did, and I don't do many of them, but this one was just in response to somebody who was taking a reticulated python out of the enclosure, grabbing it by the neck and just holding it like that while they were moving it around and whatnot. And this person had like 55,000 subs in their channel. You know, so I mean,
doesn't mean they know what they're doing.
Exactly. Had a big base to work with, and I had to jump all over that because I was like, you cannot treat your animals like that. You know, I've worked with wild caught retics that I didn't have to handle it. So, I mean, it's just something to keep in mind too. I mean, there was a lot of people in the community that really blacklisted that person because of one video. Yeah. So, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't script any of my stuff either. I make a lot of mistakes. I got to go into Premiere and do a lot of jump cuts and things like that. But I had so much experience training in different things. You know, I was in the Army for a while, always giving classes on something in there. I was in martial arts for years, always giving classes in there. So, you know, the teaching and stuff is kind of like second nature. So, I don't do any of that stuff anymore. So reptiles, I was like, well, hell, I got all this experience talking with folks and things like that. So I might as well, put it into this. So it just kind of worked out.
You were talking about going viral. I think it also does another thing, and it sets expectations. You put out videos and they get 100 views and 125 and 150, and then all of a sudden you do a video and it gets 1,000 or 2,000 or 5,000 or 10,000, and your mindset is that that's the way it's going to be from this point on. I've made it. I'm king of YouTube, and all of my videos will be 10,000, and I'm just going to go from there. And then you do your next video and it's 200 views. And it's like, oh my gosh, I
had that happen with one video that I did when Keenan down in Florida had his place broken into. And
I remember that one.
Put out an awareness video on that. It shot up to like 7,000 views like overnight, man. I was like, okay, people know I'm here now. Put out the next one. There's everybody at.
They were there to see Keenan.
Exactly.
That's what happens,
Yeah, and unfortunately, the stuff in our field, doing educational stuff, things like that, it doesn't get the attention. You put out a whole channel full of nothing but live feeding videos, you're going to get every sicko in the country clicked in. There's going to be 100,000 people there before you know it.
Yeah,
you put out educational stuff that's not so.
And I think there's a difference also in what your intent is. If my intent is to talk about NARBC Tinley Park, I know that that's going to be a good hit today and tomorrow and the next day, and then a week from now it's just going to tank. It's not evergreen. It's not going to live out there for a long time. But if I do a video on here's how you sort out dubias, it's going to get a good jump initially. But I tell you, one of our best videos, doing all these rear geckos and everything, but one of our best videos out there is simply, how you sort dubias. What are the best foods to feed mealworms? Just as basic as anything. So I think you have to look at that as well. I try to do that a lot. I kind of balance the videos that I want to do. And I did a couple in January and they just did nothing, but I wanted to do those with educational, with feeding, unboxings. But once in a while, I think my feeling is if you want to grow on YouTube and grow your channel and viewers and what, you have to do one of those. Here's how you feed mealworms. Here's the best way to feed mealworms, something like that, to get that spike up, to keep the numbers kind of bouncing up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you probably punch in how to tie your shoes and see 3 videos on there with 20 million views on it. You never know what's going to hit. The weirdest thing, the best
dumb things. Hey, it'll be
the best performing video on my channel is one I did when I first started on the prairie dogs.
Wow.
Yeah. I got 16-foot snakes out in the trees and monitor lizards all over the place, and most popular videos of prairie dogs.
Yeah. Oh, they're so cute.
They are cute. You guys,
you feed the prairie dog to the snake, and you go, oh
my God.
So it's kind of probably get a lot of hate mail over that one.
Kind of a series you've got there going, with the prairie dogs, and then I'm catching them, and then I'm feeding them to my snakes. So it's kind of a 3-parter. Yeah,
that's a good question.
Yeah, it'd probably draw a lot of unwanted attention. It would definitely draw a lot of unwanted attention from my other half, who would summarily probably blow my car up with me in it if I did that.
Well, make sure you get it on video for sure. We've got a question from J-Bug here. What if you have the skills, the time, and the patience for videos, but you only have an LG Stylo 6 to work with? I'm not sure what that is. Oh, is it? Okay. My phone is the only thing that has internet in this house. That's my snag. I don't think it's a snag. I think that you do.
Yeah, I mean, look at what's his name, Exotic Lair. That's all he's ever used was a phone, and look at he's made videos. It's just depending on what videos you're gonna make. Don't worry about if you're just doing a phone. There's people that do phone and they're very, phones nowadays are so they're more better than cameras now because everybody has a phone. you know,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
you can do everything on there. And then even YouTube is now conforming more to that. So then they can even go into their analytics and all that stuff, you know. So I wouldn't worry. I don't think that would be even a problem. I mean, you know.
Aaron, you use your phone. Do you find any limitations with using your phone? Do you ever do videos and say, I wish I had a camera and
No, the only thing that I find that I
Space would
need
be the only
my
thing.
no, not even. I actually paid just a little bit for
Well,
space
because
for my
you
storage.
paid the
Yeah. But mostly my phone. The only thing that I find a camera for is actually when I want to take professional photography of my animals. But even if he has a Samsung, I mean, I have an Apple, but even if you have a Samsung, there has to be some type of editing app or editing something that you can do, even online, that you could pay for. There's access. Trust me. If you got internet, you can definitely do it.
Yeah.
And
Get
it's
yourself a
definitely
tripod.
possible.
If you don't have a tripod, get
Yeah.
yourself a tripod, because it's more easier to put it on the tripod and it'll be steady. And instead of you going like, and then you're seeing this, and you know, that's the way my videos. And I have a tripod, but I hardly ever use it because, you know, I got to get the shot right now. You know, it's happening now. Sometimes you don't have that time. You know, when something is happening, and it's
The
like,
audio is a big deal too.
yeah.
I got a USB-C mic that I run off of my phone, and the audio is so much better off of that than just using the phone audio for video.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice.
So, you know, I wouldn't see it as a problem.
I don't think so either. And to keep that point going, you know, you can get a ring, you know, a camera ring for $20 now.
Yeah, Walmart,
cameras,
you can find anything cheap.
yeah. The phone mics are okay. The video is okay.
It was
great
for
point
something
is the tripod. Go with the tripod, set
You
it up,
know,
and just do
at
your
Walmart.
videos.
It's like less than $5.
Yep, exactly. So,
And you
so
know,
a couple of points
and you
here.
can
Good
angle
lighting.
it, you can twist it, it can grab onto things. I mean, hey,
It's like Gumby.
yes,
I think you can. I think people have this fear about. I just have a phone and I can't. Make sure that you have good lighting. Pay a little bit for a good halfway decent light. Get yourself a tripod. The phones are fine for video and audio, and go to town and compare yourself. Do the videos, put them on YouTube. Nobody's going to care a year or two from anything that those videos are a little bit less quality. Who cares? But learn from that process, and
Yes.
ultimately, maybe you want to grow into a camera, but do what you can do with what you have.
you know, you just have to start somewhere, and you're not going to make unless you start getting affiliates. It's like there's a lot of people, you know, they think, well, you know, I can only make money if I'm monetized. No, there's all kinds of different ways.
Exactly.
You just have to go find out. That's how I go watch Nick Nimmons. I watch D Nimmons. I watch Daniel Patal. Those guys, there's so much knowledge. They give you all these things, and if people would just do what they're telling you, but they don't. People, you know, they're giving you all this free advice, and you're like, okay, but then you don't do it. I mean, I'm guilty of it too. I've done it on some videos, and we don't. You know, it's like you need to do. It's kind of like when you're trying to lose weight. You know, you have to. I have a treadmill, but I don't use it. Why? Because I got to get on there. See, that's the thing. It's the same thing with everything. You have to just do it, you know. And a phone, you know, just do videos, and you're gonna get better. I mean, when I first started, I was just there was no voice. I wasn't doing any voice on it. It was me basically videotaping bugs and different things. You know, I wasn't even coming out on the videos. You wouldn't even hear my voice. You know, I didn't even have music or anything. It was just a silent video. And you know, it was like, you know, and I was still getting, you know, sometimes I'd get 1,000 views, sometimes less, you know, but now later on, you can still go back to those old videos and edit them, add music to it, add voice if you want, you know, and install it out there, and it'll start, it'll pick up. Sometimes it happens. You know, but don't get discouraged. And if you're going to be looking at the numbers, oh my God, you're not.
Yeah.
I mean, I was the same.
Terrible.
I was like, ah, man, it's you know, because if you go look at your analytics, you can look at your analytics anytime. Look at how many minutes people watching your videos.
Yep.
And you're like, oh my god, I did a 15-second video and it says they only watched 1%. So they didn't even watch it. All they did is thumb through it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Talking about the numbers, and I don't want to go on the numbers, but I think that there's a couple of things. We're talking about content. What are some little things that people can do to improve their comment or their content? I'm going to start it off. We talked about good lighting. I think that that's so important. Our phones nowadays can produce good sound and video. But one of the things that I struggle with a lot, and this is why it takes me 14 days to do one video, is I do a lot of ums. Or I'll do a video and I'll go through the whole thing and I'll think, gosh, I forgot all about saying something like this. So it's hard, it's hard to focus on that and you're trying to cover the topic and everything. But I try to do, it was so bad. If you watched one or two of my earlier videos, that's all I said was, and then we're going to go down to, so I think if you try a little bit, the more you do this, the more you succeed in pulling stuff out and refining. And Aaron, what do you think? Give us a little tip. Give us a little tip to improve our videos. So
the one thing that you've always commented me on is my high energy. You keep the energy up. People feel through the videos they watch. So if you're, kind of dragging along or something, I just feel like they feel that through through the video. So if I come to you and I'm smiling and I'm yelling and we're all having fun and you feel that, it picks up, everybody feels that lively energy. You start coming, then they start coming and watching your other videos, and all your other videos are like that too. And they see your smile and everything that you have to offer. And I think people really it makes their day just a little bit more enjoyable, because that's what they're on YouTube for. You know what I mean? They want to go find out some good stuff, be knowledgeable and have fun, I think. So that's just a really thing. Keep up your high energy in your videos and just, smile.
Couldn't agree more. And again, I said that earlier, it doesn't cost anything. Nick, what do you think? Give us a little tip on improving our content that people can do without lots of equipment and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I think, even outside of the equipment piece, obviously, so from my perspective, since I'm doing everything live, I think it's really, it's not knowing your guests. So some of my guests I've known for, 5+ years, other ones I've known for 6 months, other ones I've known for a year. But knowing how they are or how they feel going into the live, especially if you're going to be doing a live, because as a host or as the person who's driving that, you need to be able to make sure that you kind of keep their energy up, just like it was just kind of being talked about, because otherwise, in a sense, that guest, that person, for me, that's basically what makes the show, not me. But if I don't help them out, if I don't cue them up, what fits them, what fits their style, what fits their personality, well, what happens? The show flops. So that's something I think is just kind of that prep with that person, those checkpoints, what are they passionate about? How can I best set them up for success? I think those really become kind of key things, and then kind of sculpting it around that guest. And that's something, just like I said early on, that now I've just already started to do now, going into this session here. So
outstanding point. When we talk about lives and interviews, there's a lot of different types of lives you can do, like this one. I didn't do any research on you guys. Moon, I know you. Aaron, a little bit. And Nick, I've been watching your shows a couple of times. Tim, I've got to be very, very honest. I need to watch more of your videos and understand who you are. But if you have somebody on your show that you're interviewing, watch their videos or go to their Facebook page, call them up and get some notes, and have, not 24 questions that you want answered 1, 2, 3, 4. We were talking about this earlier, but have just a basic on, hey, Nick, can you introduce yourself? And then why did you, and, have just a handful of questions, but really, I think you need to know that person before you go on the show. Absolutely. Tim, a little tip on content to make your content better.
One thing that I did is I had the same thing about and all these little words that I would just put in there as fillers when I'm trying to think of what I wanted to say next. And one thing that I started doing is I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm going into this video and eliminating all of that. So I get into Premiere and I've got to edit out 300 ums. And after the first time you do that, the next time you get in front of the camera, you don't ever want to say again, because you don't want to sit there for 2 hours editing everything out. So,
you all of a sudden go from 300 to 20.
exactly.
Then the next one down to 10.
Yeah. So
It's still hard for me, and I catch myself all the time, especially on lives. I do a lot of ums.
yeah, me too.
It's hard.
And one thing
yeah,
for the folks that are using their phones, it's really helpful too. And I know, especially for the folks that are just starting out, like we want to have our phone set up and have the camera on so that we can see ourselves and we can make sure we don't look stupid. But typically on most phones, the selfie camera is a lot lower quality than the other side.
Yeah.
But when you set the other side up, now you can't see anything. You don't know what the frame is and everything like that. So one thing that I did is I've got a couple different types of tripods, desktop, and I've got some 4 or 5 foot tripods and stuff. But you can get online and order these little mirrors, and they mount up on top of there, and you could set it. You don't get the full view of it, but you can at least set the high quality camera up there, and kind of look in the mirror, get yourself set, and make sure you're framed right and all that stuff, so you get a higher quality video. Then you can still check and make sure everything's right. And I try and do that because one thing that I try and do in some of my videos is like change the zoom on, and change things up, jump cuts and things like that, just to make it a little bit more visual, instead of I'm not running on like this and nothing's moving and type thing.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that kind of helped me too, working off my phone like that.
Really good point.
Yeah.
Big deal.
I'll follow that up with the one thing that I did want I went out and got a camera, I think probably after 4 or 5 videos. I got a Canon M50, but what I really wanted to do, did a lot of research and everything, but I wanted the screen that pops around so I can look at the camera, but I can look over here and see the screen and make sure, not that I'm going to watch the screen, that's bad, but I can look at the screen. Okay, am I set? How's the lighting? Oh my gosh, half of my head is out of the screen. Or, oh my gosh, I have dirty laundry. Oh my gosh, my dirty underwear are behind me. So you can clean up a lot of that stuff so that you don't do a whole video.
They saw the dead bodies on the floor.
There you go. Exactly. Shoot, I've got to take out the garbage can.
Never get those on video. That's just bad mojo.
Yeah. How about your
right?
I do that. I occasionally do stuff like this. How about other tips on easy ways to improve your content? Any thoughts?
Don't talk about too many different things in one time.
Don't
try to keep your topic,
keep your focus.
Focused and condensed. Don't go like 50 things in one session.
Exactly.
I've noticed too, a lot of us kind of don't get into depth when we're talking, like we don't give the reason why or the where sometimes. And that's a big thing that I've been trying to fix in my own videos too. I need to go more in depth with the video and all the facts. And, it's a good tip, when you get start looking up all the facts of the where they came from, people actually get a better idea, I guess, of how to take care of their animals because they get the region and all that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good point, but you can balance that with, on the other side, you can script out every single word, and now you're reading, and that doesn't look natural or feel natural to the viewers either. Talking about making sure that
the thing is,
I'll tell a funny story real quick. That I did a video on viper geckos, and I showed the enclosure, the rack, talked about the lighting, and immediately after posted 10 minutes later, close friend Andrew Moon, Andrew, DA Exotics, came on and commented, "Hey, you never really showed the viper geckos in your video." Yeah, I guess I forgot to do that. So, talking about the details.
Yeah.
I've got a couple here real quick. I want to throw out there, just, hit it and quit it kind of stuff. Good sound, good lighting, short introductions. I cannot stand, I cannot stand on lives 1 minute until the show starts. I can't stand on long form video. This 20-second, here's the company logo, branding, blah blah blah. I try to keep mine like 5 or 6 seconds. Less gaps. We talked a little bit about that. Edit out the edit out the delays. So if you have, you're talking about something and then you talk about something, just take that little tiny bit out. I think that helps keep people watching. I've just got a couple more. Add B-roll. B-roll is and I think this is so important. Anything that you watch says long form video, 5 seconds. Have something changing every 5 seconds. So show a picture, show a gecko actually eating a cricket. That's B-roll, so that somebody doesn't have to look at my face, the whole time that I'm talking. Change angles, change camera angles, go somewhere else and film parts of your video. Change. If you're going to talk about something, don't talk about it. Show pictures and show video. 1 or 2 more here. Time. What's best? 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour for a live stream, 2 hours for a live stream. I think that you have to get that comfort level, obviously. Keep your viewers in mind. And here, I think this is probably the most important thing. If you're watching a video and somebody's telling a story, you're going to watch that video until the end to find the conclusion of that story. If you can come up with, this one time I did a video and it was about viper geckos. If you can tell a story like that, people are going to watch until the end.
Even if you don't show it.
Even if you don't show it, yeah. Yeah. It's helpful in long videos.
Part 2, you will show it.
Yeah, I will now.
There's always a part.
In long videos to have timestamps. If you're talking about a more complex topic like feeding, lighting, whatsoever. Heather, 503 Menagerie, I think this is a good point. I don't do timestamps on my long videos anymore because I'm going to do a review of this thermostat and down at the 10-minute mark, right at the end, here's my conclusion. A lot of times people just jump right to that conclusion and just watch the end. That's a tough call. If you're talking about something that somebody will probably watch all the way through and maybe want to see it a second time, like I'm going to go through this whole process, step 1, 2, 3, 7, and somebody might want to come back to 4 and 5 to repeat. Maybe timestamps are good there, but generally I don't. And I know that I know I like to see them because I like to jump to that conclusion, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean those timestamps, they're good. Kind of like Nimmons, he uses them because he has these 3-hour long, and different topics. So if you're only interested in that one topic, but he doesn't really care because he has a big audience. But when you have a little audience and you put timestamps, it's like, people, I'm going to, and it always till the end. And then sometimes they don't even show it. And or it's like way, and it's like real small. So it's like, what, but I mean, I had a person commented on one of mine, and I never said that, because I have jumping spiders. And the guy commented, I never saw it jump. It's like, it's a jumping spider, but it doesn't jump all the time. It only jumps when it needs to. It's like a grasshopper. You can videotape a grasshopper and don't scare it, and he's going to stay there, never going to jump.
But that's what the viewer was looking for.
I never said it was. I never said it was going to jump.
You said jumping spider. You made people watch your
what it
video.
is.
It's like fool you.
But it's like, okay, all right. I'm like, yeah, all right. So I went and checked out his channel. His channel was religious, but I didn't comment anything bad. I could have, but I would have, because he had something about the coming of Christ or something like that. And I would say, well, we're still waiting for him to come back. When is he going to get here? I didn't see him. Where is he? But I said, okay, I'm not doing that.
I'm going to ask Nick and Tim for a live stream for the content itself. Do you think about? I don't want the viewers to jump in here and watch 5 minutes and jump out. How do I keep them for? Gosh, we're almost at an hour here. I don't want to go too much longer here, but do you think through that process? How can I keep somebody until the end? Maybe I can do a special giveaway or something. I don't know. Do you think about that?
I'll let you take that one, Nick. I mean, mine's really simple. I mean, I haven't, I don't do a lot. I started out doing live streams for a minute there, and it just got too time intensive trying to set everything up. And when I do lives, the ones that I've done, it's all about just the conversation, the person I'm there with, and the rest of the audience is invited in. You know, we try and talk about things that are important to them, but I really, with stuff like that, I don't necessarily have in my mind I'm going to cater to the audience. I'm focused on having the discussion. I mean, just like I am here, you know, it's cool to have people in, it's cool to have people watching, but we're actually interacting with, you know, these 5-6 people right here. And I think that's a way to keep it genuine too. You know, we can still interact with people as they put in comments and stuff like that. But I think it's another thing about being genuine, you know, just having discussions and, you know, sharing ideas and stuff. And then people will be attracted to that on their own, you know.
How about it, Nick? Would you, anything?
Yeah, I mean, so for me, you know, like I mentioned, you know, obviously I keep everything super loosely scripted, basically not scripted, just scoped. But to try to keep people to the end, I mean, so the one thing, like I said, I always try to at least get from all of my guests, if there's something, you know, especially in the reptile hobby, everyone who's been, you know, around for a while, like everyone has that ridiculous, funny story that either happened at a show, you went to somebody else's facility, or just some random crazy customer. Like, you have to bring that into the fold because it's just one of those things that we all joke about, that we all laugh about. So trying to kind of bring that type of humor aspect into there, you know, is part of it. And then I think just the other part is trying to make sure that through the show, even if your comments aren't flowing, to try to kind of renotate that, like, hey, like if you have things that you want to kind of interact with, like to throw that in there. Because, you know, I always highlighted it big time at the end of, you know, yesterday's show, which was, again, I mean, it's not just my guest that makes it in our conversation and stuff, but it also it's how much that, you know, the audience is putting into as far as questions, comments, you know, anything to that degree, because that's what I feel makes, you know, a great live. I look at one that I was a guest on, and I only got to answer 2 of the questions of like the 20 that people put in. And like, to me, that's a good live when you run out of time, you know, because there's so many good questions. So that's what I'm trying to replicate. I'm definitely not there yet, so don't take my word on it.
I find the most difficult thing about doing lives is, well, besides my mic working, which stresses me out like crazy. But anyways, I find it difficult to do this and talk to you guys and talk to the viewers and keep doing this and looking over and, oh, I've got a comment that I've stopped talking. So that interaction I find very, very difficult. That's why Nanette is so helpful with these lives. She can be here and help out, you know, as I get a little bit tied up in my script here, trying to keep
script.
Yeah, maybe that's the whole key right there. But I find it very difficult to stay in tune with the comments. I try to, and I'm trying to show comments as much as I can. We're trying to address some questions here. But sometimes I get lost in that, and I can't tell you how many times after show, hey, I asked you about this in the live stream, and I didn't get a response, and I feel bad, you know, at that point.
That's really hard.
I will say, and maybe it's as simple as, you know, hey, Andrew, thanks for joining. Maybe it's as simple as having somebody, you know, help if you can to do the comment thing. We do the 12 Spring Days of Christmas giveaway, and it's you know, with the viewers that we get there, it's crazy. It's you know, just absolutely crazy.
He's saying exactly that. You need somebody there.
Yeah.
Well, you probably put it on slow mode, don't you, when you do those?
No.
I do, but even so, I do.
Because I seen them. You got about 400 people in your live,
They're
and
crazy.
it's crazy. Yeah, I've been in one of
Just
those.
trying to keep up with all of it is just really hard.
Yeah. I've been in other people's where there's only like maybe 100 people, and then they don't put it on slow mode, and like it's like, bloop. It's like,
Yeah,
what was that? What did it say? And you can't go back to it because it's gone.
Yeah,
You
you get
know?
that many people on there, you really got to limit it to super chats. I mean,
You know,
if you got 400, 500, 600 people on there in a live stream, man, there's just no way you can keep up with everybody. The only real fair way to do it is,
Well,
you know,
I mean, the
super chats,
thing
really.
is, I mean, like Nimmons, he does it the way he does it. He's just like, you know what, just put it in there again. Just, if I missed your question or something, but he has people helping him. That's the thing. You have to have, if you're going to be that, you have to have like Wally has, he has Nanette, or, like I've been in other panels where there's one person in there and all she does is basically she's looking through the, that's all she does, sit there and look at the chat. And she kind of, puts them up there. Like if hey, you know what, there's a question here that they're asking you. And that's her job, and it keeps everything going.
We start out that way most of the time, but then he takes the mouse away again.
Like I'm doing right now.
Like right now.
Yes.
Or the keyboard's over there and I can't reach it to answer something.
You go.
Yeah, that's what you need to steal it and just put it on your side of the desk.
I tried that one time. It didn't work.
No, it didn't. I grabbed it back. I literally got up off the camera and went and got it.
I was looking for a dual mouse so I could control.
Any other thoughts about quick hits on improving content for long form or for live streams? Anybody?
I think live streams just I when I do live streams, I basically, if it's a road trip, I'm just driving and the camera's facing to the road and I'm just talking to them. I don't read the chat while I'm driving. I always do read the chat at the end. It's a 45-minute drive. I read every single chat, and then I thank everybody for coming and all that. But if I do like a live like this, then it's more different. Then usually I'll use my phone more, to read the chat because it's on to the side. Basically, I would read my phone and that way. But it's hard if you're only doing it by yourself. It's hard. It's better with a panel. Have somebody else help you. Like there's people that do panels with only two people. They're the co-host. They're working together. One is always talking. The other one's basically just reading off what's in there, to help improve, everything.
I've seen shows like that, and that second person will also put links in. They'll do what Frank.
It's like My Animal House. My Animal House.
Yeah,
him and Iron Dog, and him and his wife. He's doing the cleaning over there. She's reading the chat, telling them what's going on. Hey, they have a question. Blah blah blah. Keeps everything going.
It's hard with one person though. Aaron, you had a point. I think I missed it though.
Yeah, I think that because some people get caught in being more of a face, or I think if people could see you, let them see what you're talking about too. So in one of my last videos, I had showed what I was talking about, but I also included just like a little box of myself in the corner talking about exactly what it was. So I think it's really good to switch it up a little bit every now and then, show them what you're talking about, but show yourself. I think that keeps them engaged. Like if you show what you're talking about, then you bring yourself back in. They're like, okay, he's going to talk about something important again. He has some facts or something to spit. I think it's really good to keep them. That's a good way to keep them anyway.
And StreamYard now has the new thing where you can set up your panel in different ways, different sizes. So you can put yourself a little face of you in the corner, and then you can show big what you're showing. So, they're improving the system.
I'm going to go through real quick. Which do you like better? This is just a real quick one or the other. And then I'm going to move on to another topic. And then we're going to look at JP Lizard's World's channel and videos and kind of do a critique. He's volunteered, for us to do that. I don't want to keep everybody forever, but I'll start with Moon. Do you prefer live? Do you prefer long form?
Do I prefer live or long form?
Yeah. Do you prefer to do a live stream Do you prefer to do a long form video? And long form is 2, 3, 5, 10 minutes.
I mean, I do all three. So I like live because I can, especially if you have a panel, you can interact with the chat. You can answer a question right then and there if they have a question, as long as we're reading the chat. But but we will miss some people's comments. I mean, that's what happens.
Absolutely.
But it depends what you feel more. At first I didn't do any lives. If you want to get monetized, if you're looking to get monetized, you're gonna have to do lives because that gets you the hours. Everybody, you have to do at least an hour or 2 hours, continuously, and then you'll get your hours because it's a lot of hours. You won't be able to get it without doing lives.
That's a really, really good point. And
yes.
I'm going to jump over to Aaron. Aaron, live streams or long form?
Long form mostly. Honestly, if I'm being completely honest with her, this is only my second live, and the last one was the last collab that we did. So I'm still getting used to doing the live thing. I feel like I'm doing okay. I watched the whole last one that we did, and I really don't know what to do with my hands sometimes. But I'm more of a long. Yeah, I'm more of a long form person. Yeah, exactly. I'm more of like a long form person in that fact because I could break down and I could really think about what I have to say. Live is more on the fly. I mean, not that I can't do it, but it's a lot more thinking. I think it takes a lot more out of me than doing the long form.
Here's a secret: make all of your guests talk more than you do. And I can just go back and
hey, and you know what, Wally? There is a guy that I get on his panel, and through the whole he has people on his panel, and all he does is just doesn't say anything because he's reading the chat. That's what he does. He just reads the chat and keeps an eye on the trolls. And
he's facilitating. Yep.
Yes, everybody else, and hey, it's a perfect host. Just
that is a good way to mess up live.
Yeah.
If the host is just talking continually and doesn't engage or let the person that they invited on actually do anything, then what's the point of having them on?
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of people that do that, just monopolize the whole thing, and it's like, okay, take a breath and let your guest say something.
I think that's a huge point. I mean, I'm going to call somebody out, not by name, but you all know him. He has a live show, snake related, and he's had some really big guests on. He swears a lot, so you should know who it is now. But he monopolizes the conversation. So I've listened because he's had gecko people on before, and I've tried to listen to him. The swearing is one thing, and you get used to it. Maybe, I don't know. I think it was overused myself, but that's my own opinion. But the problem was that he would give a question, and the guest would speak about 2 or 3 sentences, and then he'd go off in his story. Interesting, but I came to this show to see like flawless crested geckos. I want to hear them talk. That's why I'm here in this live. I want to listen to them. So outstanding point.
About them.
Huh?
But you're not talking about them.
But I'm not talking about flawless. No, they were the guests that I wanted to listen to.
Yeah.
How about Tim? Which do you prefer? I think I know the answer, but
yeah, lives. It's kind of hard for me to do a live with a 16-foot snake in my hand, unless I can find somebody that's going to be, running everything for me and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, most of my stuff fits best with long form comment. I use shorts as trailers for my long form content rather. Yeah. Just like my last one, I put the video out. Next morning I put out a short, little trailer leading up to it. I like the way that works. I mean, like I said, when I do live streams or I get involved in live streams, it's other reptile folks and we're addressing issues and stuff like that. So it's not necessarily, it is educational, but it's not. I guess that makes sense.
Outstanding. And it is hard, and people, kind of have to adjust to what they feel comfortable with. I guess you're up, Nick. What do you? I know you do all live.
Yeah, I mean, so I'll be, the first person here. I mean, it is partially, I'll be straight up when I say it's partially me being lazy. So, like, do I know how to do video editing? Yes, I used to do it all the way back in high school and stuff. But I just, it's so time consuming, like everyone else has said, that like for me with my schedule, with my day job, plus the time I have to spend with my tarantulas, plus my ball python breeding operation, you know, just that's so much time that's like, I just need that balance between that. So that's why I do the lives. It's just, it's less on me. But I think it was a good thing, you know, just like Tim had mentioned, you know, I think my goal is, and I'm still kind of mapping it with my channel being new, is they always say that for lives, if you're hosting something, you know, if you're the host, 40% is how much you should talk at the most. You know, anywhere from 33 to 40% at the most, and your guest should be 60 to 66%.
Yeah.
So my thing is, my goal is, you know, every 5 episodes, I want to be able to look back and then start kind of mapping that out and saying, okay, am I staying true to that, or am I going too far? And if I'm going too far, then I think I need to look at how do I either best help my guests to keep driving the conversation and really being focused on them, or 2, what do I need to do to reel myself back in? Because I know myself. I can go down a rabbit hole and I'm gone.
I think we all can. And I just checked my phone and I'm at 70%. So I've got to cut back on mine down to 40. So I apologize for talking so much. I want to mention real quick, DEA, I try to let the guests talk all they want. I don't know anybody that I watch on YouTube that does lives that does a better job than Andrew does in engaging his guests, bringing them into the conversation. And every single time that he answers something that a guest talks about, it's not about his channel, his video. It's about all of a sudden it's a one-on-one with him talking to that person. Nobody does it better than Andrew. So hats off. I'm not going to take my hat off, but hats off to you, Andrew. Good job. Heather says chats are the best way to connect with other reptiles and invert nerds. So I'm going to throw in my point here, and then we're going to go on to another quick segment. And that is my feeling with shorts and long form and live streams is I think, especially if you're starting off, you need all 3. You really do need all 3. I think the shorts gets your audience to know you and brings them in and engages. I think the long form is out there for YouTube's algorithm and more views and more time and things like that. So I think that those kind of have to work hand in hand. And if you know him, nobody does that better than Russ Wilson, who does one each week, a long form and a live stream, does a great job of that. Then finally, as Moon said, with the shorts, I think that I've found, at least for me, that's a great way to get somebody to say, oh, wow, cool geckos. Maybe I'll watch his care video that's 7 or 8 minutes long, and maybe I'll even subscribe. So you're going to get a lower number of hits on those. You know, you're going to get lower number of people subscribing and actually going to your long form, but you're going to get some. So I think that in my mind, all 3 are tools that everybody, if you want to move your YouTube channel forward, I think that you probably need to do all 3. Lives, again, if you want to do lives and build your channel, I think that's great and it'll work. In my opinion, all 3 work hand in hand as 3 separate tools.
You can always cut a piece of your live. Like he says he only does lives. You cut a piece of one of the lives with the best part that you think and put that as a short. And when you do that, it automatically, when they watch it, it'll take them, if they want, right to your long form.
I think, Tim, you were saying that you do that with yours, kind of as a promotion, kind of as an intro kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, lives are going to get you smaller audiences, smaller views, but a lot tighter and a lot more interactive. You know, the people that are like Nick's audience, I mean, they're going to be like this with him.
Yes,
they're always interacting with him live and everything. Whereas somebody like me, if I'm just doing mostly long form content, you know, they flip through, they scan through. Okay, that's how he did it. Okay, bye. and you know, we all get our you know, diehard supporters and things like that. But you know, I think lives go a long ways towards really solidifying your base viewers. The long form content is what the algorithm's really gonna depend on as far as determining what your stuff is, and then shorts is just a way of rapid fire and getting instant exposure. And because, you know, you always get more views on your shorts than you do your long form content. Yes. At least I do. And people.
But then
draw
on
people into your
the
long-form
short ones,
content.
now YouTube. I don't know if you look at your analytics, it tells you how many people actually watched it and how many people just went thumb through it.
Yep.
Right.
So, because I know mine, I checked mine. It says 42% watched it.
Mhm.
The 50-something% they just
Right.
thumb through it because they threw it at them.
Yeah, and that's to be expected too. I mean, but you get
You
that
know.
you get that exposure out there to folks that have never
But
seen
it's
you
still
before, so.
still out there.
Right.
I look at two numbers for shorts. I look at number of subscribers. I try to hopefully get a few subscribers coming over, and I look at the dollars because I'm monetized. Man, 4 and 5 cents per short that I'm doing, I'm scoring big time.
I'm getting 10 cents. I'm getting 10
Have you?
cents.
We're like
I think I've had a
retiring next
couple
year.
over-
Man.
I think I've had a couple around the 15, 20 cents, but you're not going to make.
It's
a
because
lot of
if it's
money
a little
off
blurry, they'll watch it again. See, that'll give you more. See, that's the trick. People want to get it perfect, but if you don't get it as perfect, guess what? Wait a minute. Let me see that again.
They're waiting
And
for it to
they watch
buffer
it 3
because they think
times.
it's their phone. It's the problem,
True.
which is why it's blurry.
Yes.
Waiting for it to buffer up.
They
So,
start
man, what's the
cleaning
clear
the
picture on this?
phone
And then you can just push it all off. Man, no, it wasn't a blurry video, man. It's just your internet connection is really, really bad.
just like that. Just like that. I think people have sometimes they get stuck with content. What do I create? I don't know what to create. So what I'm going to do is on that Facebook group, I'm going to put a list. I played around a little bit before the show and put together, I don't even know how many, 50
There's
different,
like 50 things on this
different points
list.
of here's some content that you can create off of. And I'm going to read just a handful. I'm not going to spend our time here, but how to do something, how to build something, a day in your life, a day in your animal's life. Do one task and speed it up. Like we feed crusted geckos, and I'll take that, 2 hours and I'll speed it up into, maybe 6 minutes or so. And that's because you're doing it. That's why it gets so fast. Answer a follower's question. Do a tour of your room or your area or a couple of your tanks. Unboxing. What's in this enclosure? A fish tank, an isopod bin, or a storage closet. What's in this? I think that's kind of fascinating. So there's just a ton here. Do a blooper reel. Do a parody video. Do a challenge video, and I'll move on.
We're going to read them all. You said.
I know. So there's just a ton of stuff. Do a reptile show. Visit a reptile show and do a reptile show.
How do I lose this page?
And I said that one because we're going to jump over to, unless you guys have another point that you want to make, we're going to jump over to JP Lizard World, and I want to show you something just real quick. So last week we said who wants to have their channel or and I'm sorry, did you guys have any other points? I kind of jumped over that too quick. Okay.
No, go ahead.
All right. I want to bear with me for just a second. So last week we talked about
use common names.
Hold on just a second, Nanette. I'm going to see if I can get over here.
Yeah, because even on the notice, if you notice when you're gonna do a live stream, it will, it's got to be at least 15 minutes or more, or else it won't get a notice, or 30 minutes, I think it is. And and that's why people don't get their notices that he's live now, and then all of a sudden, oh, he was live. I finally got a notice.
Hopefully I can share. There we go. Much better. Hopefully that shows up. There we go. So I'm sorry, I missed that point completely. I was kind of trying to do. Yes. I think we're going to talk about promoting. Tim, you had a comment about doing a short. We're going to have a segment just on promoting your videos. You can have the best content. You can have the best thumbnails, the descriptions. But if, people can't find it, you're not going to get any views. So
exactly.
I wanted to talk about JP's Lizard World, and JP has been doing videos for great channel. He's been doing videos for a while now, and he's building up his audience. I just wanted to mention real quick here, if I can find some stuff here, 1.28 thousand subscriptions, 210 videos, and he has 118,000 views so far. Great guy. I've met him several different times. Just a wonderful fellow. I think we can take a look at this as a group, and everybody that's in, the chat, take a look at this. And, one of the things about this whole project is we're going to try to have some thick skin and not take anything personal. I'd like to find some good things, or I'd like to also have JP walk away from here and have something that he can take away and improve his channel or improve his videos. Early on, he did a lot of the things that I did, and that was be real slow with talking and not really, focus on 150 other different things. And he's improved so much. 200 videos. So it's JP Lizard's World. I'm going to see if I can share this, and we can take a look at some of his thumbnails. Bear with me, folks. I wish I was faster at this. Share screen.
There he is. I couldn't see him.
Okay. Oops. Okay. There we go. So this is one of his. I wish I could make that larger. I can, I think. That didn't help too much. This is one of his thumbnails. I think thumbnails are very, very important for videos. I think it's one of the key factors to at least get the click, to get people to at least start watching your videos. So again, I wish I could get this bigger. I hope everybody can see it. What do you guys think of his thumbnail? And again, this is just one of many, many different thumbnails he's created. And he's gotten better and better.
That's a good thumbnail, because you look at it, it's okay. This video is going to be about reptiles.
There you go. Absolutely. Anybody else? Tim, Nick, Aaron?
I'm sorry, I got to get really close onto the screen. Oh, yeah, this is a really cool thumbnail. He's got a couple of different things going on in there, and it shows you exactly what the video is going to be about. Like Moon was saying, exactly what he's going to be looking at as far as, the reptile show's going.
And if you can see, it says NRC right on one of the pictures. So you kind of okay. So you don't even have to read what is in the title, but just by the pictures telling you it's the NRC, NRB RCBC. So, tongue twister.
What would you guys think? What would you guys think if he put something like in the description, something like, check out these animals, or something, I don't want to say clickbait, but something more appealing or interesting?
I think it's fine.
Okay.
That's good.
That's cool then.
Yeah. Sometimes too much is
Clickbait.
Sometimes
I
when
think
you put too much, it gets cluttered. Basically, even when I watch Nick Nimmons, he talks about that. He's all like, don't over, like some people put these big letters on the whole front of it, or they. And another thing is that people put subscribe on their. You don't need to put subscribe because why? People are going to subscribe because they want to watch your stuff. You don't even need to do that. You can put it at the end. If they're gonna watch your videos to the end, that's where you need to really put it, or in what somewhere there, because in the beginning it's just gonna too much. You want to tell them what the video is about by the picture, and that does tell you basically. You don't even need to read the words because he made a picture of what he's going to show you: reptiles at the show. I mean.
Yeah, I think the best way I've heard it described and is to have no more than 3 focal points in there, or you're going to lose people.
Yeah.
As they start, you got their attention for a half a second or 1-2 seconds, whatever it is, and if you've got more than 3 focal points, like a person, an animal, and maybe a word, 2 words or something, people can pick up on that. But anything more than that, and it just kind of gets lost in the clutter. And it's hard for people to, flip through them. You're like, oh, okay, I don't know what that is. Oh, one dude with a big snake. Let's see what's going on here. Type thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you just got to have something that's going to kind of get their attention.
It has the time on it.
What, Nanette?
I like that he has the time. It looks like on there because it kind of gives you an idea of what you're looking at. Then.
I think that's
Yeah.
YouTube, if I'm not mistaken.
Is it
That's
YouTube?
YouTube. Yeah. But you know, he's got the date to clarify that it was this year. It's timely. You know,
Yeah.
he's got a comment there, and I want to come to that. When I first looked at this, I thought it was too busy. I thought, oh my gosh, there's 6 different pictures, and you've got the description. And he came back and said, I have thought about using a single picture. Like I have to admit, I probably would have used one big picture of a snake or a monitor or something. But I feel
see,
like
this is Tinley. This is like Mecca for reptile keepers.
Yeah, I mean, see,
definitely.
this is the
He
thing.
would've
Yeah,
got-
and then
he
people
would've
are
got-
gonna say, okay, I don't really like snakes. Oh, but you know what? I like geckos.
I mean,
You
what
know.
you do is you walk up to Dave Kaufman in there. You say, "Hey, man, will you take a picture for the thumbnail with me?" Everybody knows Dave. Everybody that knows Dave is going to see that. They'll click on it, and you know you're inside at the place and stuff like that. So
I think it's exciting, honestly. I think he's got I would even for his title, throwing in like check out what my favorite animal was, just like because people like to see our opinions too. You know what I mean? When it comes to these shows we go to, like they don't want to just see what's at the show. They're in here, they're watching us for our personalities, for what our opinions are, what we thought was really cool. So I think he like even could have added just a little bit more spruce to the title, like which was my favorite animal, question mark. You know?
Or he could have just eliminated the Tinley because he's already got it on the picture.
There you go. There
I
you
agree
go.
with
He could have
that.
put,
Absolutely.
this is what I saw at Tinley, or this is
Absolutely.
what I liked at there.
Okay,
Absolutely.
from those 2 points, I'm pulling something away from here in that, you know, again, I looked at this, too many pictures, I would have changed, but I understand his reasoning, and I think I'm wrong in that this is Tinley, just like Tim was saying, this is a big show, lots of different animals. If I'm, excuse me, if I'm interested in snakes, I'm going to watch this. If I'm interested in geckos, I'm going to watch this. If this was one picture of a big snake, one picture, maybe I wouldn't watch it because I'm not a snake guy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So good job, JP. I think I was going down the wrong path. Now, off of Aaron's point, and Moon, you added to it, maybe this isn't the only video that you do. Maybe, you know, you pull out of this content specific to, and you focus on this when you go. I'm going to do a show video all about the show, but also I'm going to focus on 2 or 3 animals, and I'm going to talk to a Joe Hupp or help me with some snake guide names. I don't know, but I'm going to focus on maybe 2 or 3 people, and I'm going to get, you know, probably about 6 minutes of content off of that. Tell me about this monitor. Why is it so expensive? Or, oh my gosh, it needs that much heat. You know, so maybe in the future, maybe especially for the fall Tinley and ARBC, maybe he goes to the show with the content that he's going to do the video, but he's going to have 4 or 5 different pieces of content off of that one day of filming.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah,
And then I don't know. Let me see. I haven't seen this video, but let me check his and see if it has on more
Yeah, me so
where it
upset I
says
paid him.
more. See, let's see. He puts it's Tinley time. Okay, I could only the Sunday and still.
While
have
you do that, I'm going to try something here.
So he did show, you know, talk about what he did at the show underneath. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't use. When you do your videos, you know how they has a description. It says also description. A lot of people just leave that blank. I do it because I don't, you know, but on his, he did put on there like, this is what I did at the show, you know, and you don't want to put too much stuff in the where the thumbnail is, but that's what the description is. See, YouTube, that's what people don't use.
Yep.
All that YouTube is offering has a description underneath. Now the description underneath tells you more of what he did in the video. So you go, oh, you know what? Then I'm gonna watch this because I want to see what exactly he, and people don't use it. So
Yep.
he did use that. It was good. The thing I saw in some of his other videos that I would think, because okay, what do you want to do on YouTube? Do you want to bring people to your channel, or do you want to bring people somewhere else from your channel? And you know how people always put all their like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and all that, like right underneath on the description, on also where it says more.
Yep.
You should leave it over where it says on your what is your channel about, because right there what you should be putting is, look, if you like this video, go check out this other video that I did like a year ago or 2 years ago. One video that wasn't doing very well. You want to get a link, and you want to put it right there, right where it says more, right underneath the more. Put a link there. On your comments, you want to click on comments right in there. If you liked this video, also again, and put the same link to that same. So now you're getting them like, hey, no matter where they click, they're gonna go end up watching your next video. But what do people do? They put on their TikTok. What do now they do? Oh, you know what? I love TikTok. Boom, they left your channel now.
I'm going to address that in just a second, because I'm going to come back to a quick couple of tips that I am thinking about, and you guys can come up with tips as well. But I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to show you guys the introduction for his video here. This will be just 20 seconds or so.
Master, wake up. It's Tinley time.
All right, everyone, it is the time, the best time of the year. Well, the show is twice a year, but this is the very first NARBC.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's good.
It's fire. I think he did a really good job. That whole intro. I mean, you got to give credit where credit is due. Sometimes we do not take the time to do a proper intro, and he gets creative with it. I mean, that whole, like, because I watched this previous to this live, and I think that whole master. It's time to wait. That was absolutely a genius. You have to get, like, if you want to engage, like we were talking, engaging in the video, you need to get creative. I was already talking about props the last live. Like, I'm telling you, you got to get creative with it, and you got to make them laugh. That people like that.
Now, if you do intros, don't make them too long, because then that, people, that's what people, they put so much time into an intro, and it has nothing to do with the video. It's just because it's their intro and they love this intro that they did. But then people that are watching your channel, pretty soon, guess what's going to happen? They're going to get tired of that intro because they've seen it 100 times. And they're just going to fast forward. And what that's going to do, it's going to mess up your analytics, because they're going to be skipping past that whatever seconds or minutes, however long you made it. But this intro was good because it had to do with the video.
I think you're right. And as important, I think, maybe more important, I completely agree with that statement, Moon, that in fact, I've shortened my intro way down, the branding part of the intro. But I call in my mind, the intro is the beginning of the video that hooks the person. We're in the TikTok world. 5 seconds, folks. You've got 5 seconds. And this video, I think, catches you and keeps you there for at least, okay, let's see what this is about. I just absolutely positively love this. I want to play a little bit of the body real quick here. Hopefully this
So I've only had these guys about a year now. I got them as adults, but proven male right here. This is as big as they get. Super cool Australian species. Eat everything that moves. Really, really neat. They like it hot though, man. Like, their basking spot in their cage is like 165, and they lay right in it, no problems at all. So they definitely like it warm. But
so again, a very typical show. Typical, I use that word kind of freely, but it's reminiscent of what a show video is when you go to, hey, this is the reptile show. Let me show you. But I think what he's doing is he's bringing. It's not just seeing displays and animals and signs and people walking, and I think that's. I think he did a fantastic job with this. A very clear picture of the animal. The focus is on the animal, not just of the whole booth. You could be talking to the reader and showing the whole booth, but this was the focus on the animal. And a lot of his video is, Aaron, you said that you watched a lot of his video is like that. There's segments where he's, right in there focused on the animals.
Exactly. He's showing a very, very clear point. I like this too because we can't all march into big crowds with our cameras and have it all up into everybody's face, and it's really hard to get content in places like that. And I think he did a really good job about getting enough content so we can engage enough and understand what's going on at Tinley. So
yeah, and you want to get more video of the animals, not the people, because basically it's what we're here to see.
What I would just say too, I think when you do a show video, it's about there's an intimacy factor when you do that, and you go to a specific person, it's a specific animal. Because just it's already been mentioned. Every single year, I feel like everybody and their mother puts out a Tinley video, and by all means, it's great. But there's 90% of them is just scanning through, and it's I see people that go by my booth, and it's great.
And it's like
you shot 5 seconds.
What was that? It's
you zoomed in on one snake or one tarantula or whatever, but the animal's out. He's getting information, and now it's drawing a different connection, because if you think about it, he's also not just telling you about these animals. He's telling you, why should you go to Tinley, in a sense?
Yeah.
Well, I don't really know if I'm just seeing stuff. I know something when I'm learning something. And now I'm okay, I want to go because I saw this Kimberly rock monitor. I thought it was awesome. And now I want to go to this table, talk to this breeder or that vendor about it. And maybe I want to get one in the next 2 to 3 months. So it's a different experience.
On that point, JP put in there a lace monitor. I know nothing about monitors. They're a lot bigger than the geckos that I keep. That's the only thing I know about monitors. And I saw this lace monitor, and to your point, it was holy cow, that is an amazing animal. Next time I'm at a show, a Tinley show, a big show like this, I'm not gonna buy one. Wink, wink. I'm not gonna buy one, but I'm gonna look for lace monitors, and I'm going to look at them and appreciate the beauty of those animals.
Go see Keenan.
Monitors are incredibly intelligent.
They're amazing.
Fun to work with.
Yeah.
See, they're intelligent. So we could have a monitor instead of a dog.
No.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I work with monitors for fun and stuff. I started as a lizard person. Part of the reason, I have my ornate Nile now that I'm working with her consistently is just for that factor of, for that same thing. When people come by, why are they going to come by the booth? She's not for sale. She's mine, but it's because someone wants to talk. They want to interact. And then that's how, in a sense, from I hate to say it, but my brand's perspective, that's how I get my brand out there, because they want to go stop and say hi to the 5-6 foot long lizard.
Did he show
it?
It's hard. I'm just real quick. Cassandra, Tinley, you've got to go. You've got to go to one of these bigger shows and spend the time to walk around maybe 2 or 3 times. Tinley Park, NARBC, is one of the, if not the largest show, especially the fall in the country, unless I'm mistaken.
That Arlington's really big.
Arlington.
And then they got the one in California. I think that.
Yeah, Pomona, is it?
Yeah, Pomona.
Yeah.
Never been to any of them, but.
Sacramento show's coming up.
I would love to. Cassandra's saying lots of background noise. If you can do what the person is saying is great. It's hard. Shows are hard.
That one
especially Tinley, trying to squeeze in and trying to get good video. You've got lights. Lights are, you've got the reflection, you've got crowd noise. There's and trying to get close to people's displays. So again, I guess going around,
maybe the internet will work in there sometimes. So that's another thing.
Yeah. So JP, I think you did a great job. Anybody, we've seen a little bit of his thumbnails. We've seen a little bit of his video. I want to say once more, JP's videos from 2 years ago are completely different from what they are now. And I can't stress enough, to the point of 210 videos, you get a feel of what you feel comfortable with. And JP, earlier on, you looked really super nervous, and you look very comfortable in front of the camera right now. So, again, hats off to you, buddy. Yeah. Anybody have suggestions to JP? Anything that he could change? Any thoughts?
Did he?
I think Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I think he could do the same thing. Like I was saying, I got to fix it in my own videos. Let's just do the where, what, and why. Let's get into a little bit more. He's he looks like a great guy. I'd love to meet him. It'd be awesome. I think he looks really awesome. And like I said, like you were saying too, Wally, I'd watched some of his earlier videos of when he first started out, and he's not that same person at all. So it's really awesome to see that he grew and that he had so much, that he has a lot to offer now, and he's making great videos. I'd love to meet him sometime.
Yeah, I had a chance to just really briefly open up his channel earlier today, and I caught the intro video that plays on his home screen on YouTube. And I mean, the guy's really well spoken. He's creative, like with that last video that he did. Seems like an awesome dude. But JP, be a little bit less humble in that opening video on your channel, because you come across really humble and it's cool, but your skill level and your personality, your persona and everything, and I would probably beef it up and just own it a little bit more, man. Wow. He's really like, I started this channel and I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was really kind of, like I said, probably too humble, I think. He looks like he's at the point now where he can go in and say, hey, this is who I am. This is what I do. This is what we're going to do. And you're going to like it and you're going to get on board. And that's the end of the discussion.
Yeah.
And I think if that, he seems like he's at the point, man, where he could pull that energy in and that confidence and really just take off.
I absolutely love that comment. And you get to a point and you look at other creators and you say, I'm not a Dave Kaufman. I'm not this person. I'm not that person. So you feel humbled by some of these people. But JP, you're working with some amazing animals. What you're doing is probably in the, 5 percentile, 2 percentile, 1 percentile of all reptile breeders. You are sharing information that, 99.99% of, reptile keepers are going to appreciate and learn from what you're saying. So what a great comment there. Thank you for that comment.
They were asking for the Schomburg dates.
I don't have those. Okay. Do you have, somebody's asking for the Schomburg.
July 29th and 30th.
Any other comments on the JP?
I don't have the keyboard, so I can't type it in myself.
Any other comments on JP's channel videos?
No, I mean, his videos were good. It's just like I said, those things, that he needs to. I saw some of his older. I hadn't watched this one, but he can put those things, and at the end of your videos, make sure you get that ending to go to another video that a lot of people aren't using. You want to keep them on the platform. If you want to build your channel more, have more people come into it, you want, hey, you like this, go check this one out. You have to, people. And then the more you do that, what's going to happen, I don't know if you ever seen, when you're watching a video and then on the side there's all these recommendations on the side. Those videos, they're being recommended there. Pretty soon, when you keep doing that, and they're going from your channel, your video to another video, your channel is going to be on there recommending. Yours is going to be right there. And that's what other people are going to see, because they're going to be watching your video, and then on their side are going to be the same thing as yours. Oh man, you know what? There's another video here. I'm going to click on that one. But you have to get them there. Now, if you're putting your Instagram, your Facebook and all that, a lot of times what people are going to do, they're going to leave your channel because I like TikTok better. Boom, they're gone. And if you want to build your channel on YouTube, you need to keep them here, as they say. The more you make them watch more videos, then when they go to that video, add another link to that one, to the next video you want to watch. Pick a video that's getting very low stuff, low views. It'll start building up and keep going like that. And it'll get there. But we have to use all the tools.
Yes. And these are little things. This isn't going to increase your channel from 1.28 subscribers to 10,000, within 2 months, but it's little things to keep people coming. You're stealing my thunder though, Moon, because I was going to jump back into the tips and techniques. Yeah, you're looking at my spreadsheet. That's what you're doing. So I wanted to throw a couple of tips and techniques out there, and everybody has some, if you've been doing this for a while, but I wanted to give you guys, give you guys in the audience something, this video something, this live stream something. But I was going to say end screens. I've got one more too, so I can talk about that too. But the end screens, I think it's important to have end screens because it keeps that loop going. And I think it's important. Here's a tip about end screens. Don't just throw, watch this next video. Here's the little thing. Watch this video. Don't do that. What I've started doing is I'll talk about a gecko and say, so here's how you take care of it. And don't ever say, so thank you, end everything and have 30 seconds or a minute left by saying, thanks for watching this. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you what I tried to do is, and then what we're going to do is feed, and here's what the heat is, and this is a great enclosure. This is the right size. Speaking of enclosures, here's a video that you can watch showing how to set up your next bioactive enclosure. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next time, and try to end it real quick. But so I don't have that huge decline for 30 seconds or 1 minute, but say something that's pertinent to that watch next video, end video that you can put on your videos.
Yeah, just if you liked what you saw, check these videos out.
Yep. But I'll incorporate it into my story and what I'm trying,
Yeah.
the story that I'm trying to tell. Thumbnails. I wish Josh were here. Maybe Josh is here. Maybe I just haven't added them to the screen. But thumbnails are, I think, so important. And we're going to have a whole separate section on thumbnails. But if you don't know, because thumbnails are so important, there's a great tool called canva.com, where you can create your own thumbnails as easy as anything. And if anybody wants kind of a little tutorial on how to create a simple thumbnail on Canva, I can certainly do a side video on that. But there's also, and I'm going to include this on that Facebook group, the collab. I'll include some of these notes. For thumbnails, there's a really cool way to remove the background, and I'll put the link to it's https www.remove.bg, and you can take a picture and just pull your animal right out and enlarge it or whatever and throw it in Canva and make a pretty cool thumbnail. So again, I'll include these notes in our mini transcript on that page. Anybody else thoughts?
It sounds easier
on thumbnails.
On thumbnails?
Yeah, and again, we're going to have a whole section on thumbnails. But what's your thought on thumbnails, Aaron?
Yeah, I always think a crazy background, like colors. I like to see colors in a thumbnail. I see people do a lot of monotones, and that just doesn't catch my eye when I'm scrolling through. If I see something that's got some orange or some green, something really colorful, and make it pop out, I think that's ultimately the way to go. I mean, or even just showing what you're doing in the video, like we were talking about earlier, is a really good thing to do too. But always try to add some color. I think
And
color
then,
is necessary.
you have to have something on the thumbnail that has to do with the video.
Yeah.
Because
I take almost all of my thumbnails straight out of a clip.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Because the thing is that you can get in trouble. They can even flag your your channel if you put a thumbnail that just because you liked it and the way it looked, and then all of a sudden they say, "Oh, you're trying to trying to deceive."
Did you guys hear what happened to Dingo Dinkelman on his channel?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had taken a photo that somebody else had.
You can't do that. Yeah.
Thumbnails, and YouTube killed his channel.
Yeah.
That's why when you go to Dingo Dinkelman now, it says Dingo Reloaded, because he had a channel. They cut everything.
Was it a one-time
situation,
or had he been doing that for a while?
I don't know. I mean, whoever.
Are you talking about the guy from Africa?
Yes, yeah.
Dingo.
Whoever's picture he used was just a tool.
What it was is he has an editor. His editor borrowed pictures from other people,
right?
And he knew better. He's an editor and he knows the rules, but he thought, I can still do it. And the thing is, he would have ended up paying, copyrights to the other person, but the other person was being kind of and said, no, I want your channel down.
Yep.
So you got to watch
Yeah,
it because
start all over
you
from
can lose
scratch.
your channel very easily. If you take a picture, use your own pictures. Don't go to some website and go, oh, that's a nice spider there, and take it, and then just put it as a thumbnail, and then think they're not going to check it.
And
It's
see,
gonna
that's
get
weird
copyrighted.
because I've had discussions with the support on the studio here, because you see it time and time again, people taking like newsreels and stuff like that, or other people's videos and running a
Yes.
whole video and just keeping them there doing like a reaction thing to it. And that's all
See, that's
fine.
another thing. That's basically
But it's that
stealing. It's
damn
like
gray
if I
area where it's
watch
like,
Wally's videos and
it's
put them
fine to
up
use
and
somebody's
go
stuff here,
and
but
react.
you'll get dinged if you use it, same content in a different way.
Yeah, it's still stealing. I mean, come on.
No, I think if you're gonna do something that's a critique, I think that's completely legit.
Yes,
You know,
100%.
if you've like, I've done that before where I've seen somebody that posted a bite video or something, and I pulled that segment in and I was like, look, this is what this person did wrong.
Yeah.
This is what happened. And you see so much of that stuff too. I mean, people
you still got to make it your own, though. You got to take the time to do something different.
There's people that lost their channels because of doing reaction videos too.
Yep.
So you got to watch it. You got to watch it.
Oh,
the only thing is, if you're not famous enough, what happens is once you become famous and you become monetized, they go like this and pull out the little magnifying glass and they go, oh, guess what? You lost your channel because you did this. You don't want to do that.
Right.
That's what a lot of people do, playing music and stuff like that. You got to watch that too.
It's
like Wally, you might get a strike if what's his name is he's not monetized, is he? JP?
Oh gosh, good point. I never even thought about that.
Yeah, because if he's not monetized, when he becomes monetized, it will come up on his. Like I had somebody like that. They were promoting my channel. They showed a video, one of my videos, and I said, "Yeah, go ahead. You're allowed. I'm allowing you to." So she did. Once I got monetized, boom, copyright. It came up on my thing. This person used your video, blah blah blah. Do you want to take actions against her? And I just said no. I just put it in archives. But if somebody wants to be all of a sudden they can get you on that.
Well, Moon,
and it's a strike.
Thanks a whole lot for telling JP that. So JP, let me know. I guess I'm gonna give you up now. Thanks, Moon. Appreciate that, buddy.
I'm trying to look at everybody. Be careful what you do.
Yeah.
You just said you're free.
It's a slippery slope.
And I second that. I mean, so like before I even started my channel, so like my thing is like I knew for my intros and stuff like that, like I needed to find, the right type of music, the right type of backgrounds. So all the music and stuff that you see on there, so like you'll notice and stuff like that technically there is a little thing on there that'll be notated all the time that it's copyrighted. But what happened is because I know the guy who produced the music, so I said, hey, here's what I'm going to do. Here's my podcast. Before we even posted anything up, here's basically what we're doing with it. Are you cool with it? So he whitelisted me. So even when I get to the point where I'm actually able to monetize, I'm okay because I already have that partnership. So I always kind of highlight with people, finding people who are copyright-free music. Pixel Bay is one way to try to make a way. But another way, too, is even knowing anyone who works graphic design, visual art that's in, college and stuff. Give those college kids, man, even just flip them like $20 and be like, hey, this is what I need. I need a jingle. I need a cool background. And there it is. Because a lot of them, it helps. And all you got to do is say, I'll put your name in the, in the details of the description.
Yeah. There's like D9, he does beats, and he says, as long as you put them in there. But the thing is, even who was it? I think it was Daniel Patel. He just had a problem with a big company that they had a year, you pay a lifetime for music. And guess what? Now they're starting to charge them. And he said, wait a minute, I have this contract with you guys. It says lifetime. Oh no, but you didn't pay for this. These are upgrades.
Yeah.
So
It-
guess
it's a
what?
tough-
They're you got to watch it because even Niman says, he goes, with YouTube with the music, even Instagram, when you put a certain music and then all of a sudden it says no longer available. Well, guess what? Because somebody complained about the copyright on that music, even though they had rights at that time when you used it.
Yeah.
But if they lose the rights, guess what? Now they can go after you. So either two things: the music is going to be taken out, or you're going to have to replace it. So you're going to have to go through every single video and replace all those songs, or else you're going to get copyright. So that's why
I use Envato. Envato Elements is really good. There's a lot of different resources in there.
Yeah.
And when you download a song from there, you download the actual license. You can download that at the same time and keep it in the file.
It's
with the video.
like T-Mobile. T-Mobile, they had a thing with cable, YouTube cable. I bought it through them. Then all of a sudden it went away. They said, "Oh, well, we're going to give you a discount if you go through YouTube regular." So I did. And I go, "Well, how long am I going to have this?" "Oh, you're going to have it as long as you are a T-Mobile subscriber." Well, I just got an email saying that, "Oh, well, the rules are going to change. We're going to give you $10 off of your account for the next 2 years, but then after that, no more." So
I've since I've been doing videos, I've had, I think, 4 have copyright claims, and it's because I used songs that were copyright free, and then they changed. After the fact.
Copyrights are not bad. Strikes is the one you want to worry about.
Yeah. So
but if you get too many copyrights, it can become a strike. So
it's a tough thing, and maybe we'll have that as one of the segments that we can talk about copyrights and what you can use, what you can't use. Can you do a review?
Yeah, there's no such thing as if I only use a certain percentage, it's still people think
it's so much easier just to frame out of the video.
Yeah, no,
take that out,
you're still using it,
That's what I've done.
Have to worry about it.
Yeah.
We're over 2 hours. I was thinking that this would be about an hour and 15 minutes, folks. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you guys joining us. This is a long, for me, it's almost uncomfortable. The information, we can go on all night, I swear. But what I do want to do is I want to thank you guys for joining, but I also want to ask if anybody here would like their channel reviewed for the next segment 2 weeks from now. Let me know either from Facebook. You can put your comment in right here. And we'll do a review. If it's the same panel, that's great. If it's different people, that's fine too. Again, this is super, super informal, even though I have a script over here. We're going to kind of keep this light and fluffy, but hopefully everybody gets some pointers on, if you're starting your new YouTube channel and you just want, to skip, some of these gotchas that we've been through. And jumpstart your YouTube channel, or if you've been doing it for a while and you pick up a tip or two here, that would be great too.
You guys are all welcome to slice and dice my stuff as much as you want.
Sounds like a challenge.
Smile all the time.
Heck yeah.
It has to be reptile related.
Angie, no, absolutely. This isn't just reptiles and inverts. This is for everybody.
It's basically YouTube.
Yeah. Other than Dave, and other than Brian, and I don't think that. I think people like that already have the content out there, and they're hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I don't know if they're going to get as much out of it as we are. Every show I go back and I listen to the comments or the conversation. I pull something out at least. So sounds good.
24 hours swing.
So is this community really up to speed with US Arc and everything that's going on?
Take a minute and talk about US Arc, please, if you wouldn't mind.
I put a link up in the thing here earlier, and I've always got US Arc links on all my videos. So if you ever go to one of them, you'll see it. But it's usarc.org. For those of you guys that aren't familiar with it, it's United States Association of Reptile Keepers, and essentially, it's a nonprofit. The president's Phil Goss, and these guys pretty much watchdog legislation, and they will sit there and they will read through hundreds and hundreds of pages of legislation, and they'll pick out the laws that have been, slid into here for reptile bans, really bad reptile laws and things like that. They've got a YouTube channel as well. Definitely everybody go to the USARK YouTube channel. You can check out one of the last videos that Phil and Garrett Hartle from Reach Out Reptiles put out is from Tinley, and it talks about all of the animal program bans from several states. I think it was 5 or 6 that was planning on banning any kind of public education programs with animals, which would have been a huge hit because that's something that I love to do in the summertime. But they managed to get almost all of those squashed. And the way they did it was they put out alerts. They let people know these are the people that you need to message, phone calls, emails. This is what you need to say. And they're really a lifesaver, man. Most of my friends that are breeders include USARK memberships in when they sell somebody a snake. The people in the circles that I run in, Chris McVicker and DNT Retics and some other channels and things, huge USARK supporters. And, I honestly believe that if you own any kind of a reptile, exotic pet, any kind of animal at all, man, all these groups that are trying to push through animal bans, just like out here in North Carolina, I've got an Argentine black and white tegu, and that's a restricted species now. So I had to go down and get a permit just to be able to keep that animal.
Look at Keenan out there in Florida. He's being
Florida is just getting turned upside down, inside out. Everything is pretty illegal.
That could be a whole show. I need to do more on USARK, promoting USARK as well. We had our neighboring community go through the whole band, and we jumped in with some other local club members and squashed. I don't know if we squashed it, but it got squashed. And boy, it's that close. It could have been that close.
Yeah, so, and then the thing is, it affects also not just reptiles. It can also any kind of like fish
keepers, mammal keepers.
Yes, and that's what people don't understand. That it's only reptile. No, it's everybody. And then the thing is, if it affects even certain dogs, there's certain breeds of dogs that aren't allowed in certain cities and stuff like that. Stuff like that. And they tried, like he says, they are trying to pass it like they do all the bills. They stick a little paragraph in thousands of pages, thinking, that's not going to pass, just like they pass all these other laws, that they try to pass of gun laws and stuff like that. Like in California, you can't have certain size clips and,
there's people out there that raise tons of money for themselves on the basis of being animal welfare people, and they dump a lot of money into politicians' pockets in order to get attention so that they can keep raising money, and they don't think we should have.
But they're sanctuaries.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're not. Basically, they're just there to make money.
So if you guys ever want, and I could probably get in contact even with Phil Goss, the president of USARK, to do live stream or something, or sit down with folks and explain to maybe a section of the community that's not particularly familiar with them or something like that. I am all for doing anything that we can. If people need information, we can get it straight from the horse's mouth.
I love that idea, Tim, and I appreciate you bringing it up. Anything I can do, maybe we'll talk offline and get together to make people more aware. More, we can spread the word, the better, obviously.
There would be a lot of states with a lot of animals that were completely off limits if it wasn't for them. Yes, reticulated pythons and monitor lizards are 2 of them.
It would affect also pet stores, because guess what? They're not going to they're going to lose business because they're not going to have all the feeders and all the pets. They're going to say, oh, you can't have these pets either.
The feeders start going out of business. The supplies, enclosures, heaters, lights, all that stuff starts going out. There's so much involved in it. So if you're not a USARK member, catch me offline. I will walk you through it, and I'll tell you anything that you want to know about it.
Perfect. Thanks again. I want to wrap this up, or else we'd go another 2 hours here. And
I thought it was a 24-hour show today.
Right.
next one, and you can host it on your site, Moon. I want to thank everybody again. I appreciate you getting together and sharing all the information. You know, we're not experts by any means, but hopefully we can share enough information that each one of us can grow and build an audience, a bigger audience, and make better videos.
Yes, you know, or tell you where to go to find out the answers, you know.
Yeah.
You tell me where to go all the time, Moon. I don't
But do you listen? Do you listen?
Never. I don't listen to Nanette, so thank you, everyone,
I
for
really
joining.
do appreciate
Bye, you
my
guys.
man.
I'm gonna let you go.
Night, everybody.
See you in 2 weeks.
Bye-bye, guys.
Take
See
care.
ya. Have a good one. Bye-bye, everybody.